Well, hello, everybody. Welcome. We're still waiting for some people to show up, but thanks for joining this evening. Novice Nick has jetted out for a moment. There he is. Hello, Nick.
What?
Yeah,
Jetted
there's Nick.
out. Let's see if I
Uh-oh.
can send some love to that instead.
Okay. Get the
Yeah.
echo out of here.
Turn that down.
All right, everybody. Well,
Yes,
we're
echo's
here to
gone.
do a little bit of a celebration and share a little bit of some discussion and talk about giving away some records. So we'll wait for people to come on in. And we got
Rivalry
10.
for the misses.
There's M&Ms. Oh boy.
Chocolate always works, right?
Oh, yes.
Where are those virtual M&Ms?
Good evening, everyone.
Yeah, Brad's here from another part of Texas, and Nick's here from another part of Louisiana. We got part of the South covered. Let's see who
Greetings
we
and
got in the
salutations.
peanut gallery.
Andy G and Greg
Where
and
the chat's at. There's comments.
Wild Man
There we go.
Dave.
Wyoming
Hello,
Dave. Hello,
Wyoming Dave.
everybody.
Cool.
There he is. Hello, James. Welcome this evening. Rover's Dan. Thank you. Appreciate you coming up. Thanks for being here.
You know you're gonna have a good stream with Caesar
Wooga.
Search Up.
Jeremy, thanks
Yeah,
for being
there's a
here.
no.
Thanks. Yeah.
Is that with 2 O's or 8?
Mugu. Oh, Andy. Thanks for joining. Greg.
That reminds
Bearman. Cesar.
me on how
Welcome.
the Indian chief
Welcome.
used to name the
Bearman's from
children.
Indiana. I grew up in Indiana, Northwest Indiana, near Chicago. Yeah. Got Cesar is saying hello to Nick. Jeremy's out of DC. He came from Psycho Platters. Well, you should see your doctor.
All right. Yes. For the brief time I was there, it looked like a fun stream going on.
Greg's blaming me for
Munster,
buying more
Indiana.
records. Yeah. Oh, Andy's from Munster. Well, Munster's right next to Gary.
Yeah.
Munster has a great burger place called Shoops.
Shoops.
Really, really good burger place.
I
Showing
bet
my
you
age.
know
Thanks,
a
Cesar.
lot of great burger places, David, all across the world, huh?
All across the world. You know, it's funny. I was walking down the streets of Madrid, and there was a Five Guys burger place.
Come
And
on, really?
I'm like, oh, is that a tailor? You know, somebody works on pants, or I was like, no, it's
I saw one in Montreal.
yeah, really.
Yeah.
Cleveland, Illinois, welcome.
Yeah.
I remember there was a little spot in Sweden on the island of Öland. There was a place that opened 3 days a week, and they had the best burgers. Actually, the only burgers you could find at that time. They were my kingdom for a burger, I was saying.
So Mugu, were you in Mishawaka, Indiana? That's near Notre Dame.
Did you see Caesar's comment that he was here for the 3K? I kind of remember that, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a list of the winners from the 3K. Yeah. I've got my list up for that. And quick spec, thanks. Pardon?
Was Caesar one of them?
Let's look.
Most likely.
Yeah.
Caesar won Stop Making Sense on the 3K show. On the 3K show. Yes, he did.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw several copies of that at the show in Austin.
The reissue?
The double, right, the reissue, the double album.
Okay.
Royce, I sent you an invite if you want to come up on that invite. There's a link to the StreamYard if you want to join us. Be more than happy to have you up here. Seems just like yesterday I was at $49.99.
That's the question I was going to ask. How many days has it been since you hit the 5?
It's been about 2.5 weeks, I'd say.
Wow.
And I'm at 51. I'm at 51.10 now. So yeah, the last few weeks have been great. So Gansey, here's a great guy.
Quick.
Gansey was on Second Chance Records, and he bought from me when I was selling on Second Chance with Armando before I started my channel.
Oh,
so
wow.
a lot of memories there, and I know Gansey still stays in touch with Armando and buys stuff from him.
Yeah.
Did I enjoy the Austin show? Well, I do. I will be heading other shows. I mean, I was selling at that show, helping Armando from Vintage Mio in Waco. And I had sold at the Dallas show a month prior to that. It was only a 1-day show. And I actually did better at the Dallas show in 1 day than I did at the Austin show in 3 days. Now,
you never know.
There were a ton more vendors in Austin for people to buy from. And I didn't have as much as I did with me because I sold some in Dallas. So it's a combination. So maybe Royce will join us. That's great. Yeah, the 6K counter. Yeah, still playing that album and grateful. Yeah, you're welcome. That's a great record. That's a great record. And I when I go looking for records, and I picked one up in Austin, a Tom Tom Club. Two are the bass player and drummer from Talking Heads, who are actually married. So I'm always looking for Tom Tom Club stuff. Can you tell how long someone's been a subscriber? Yeah, I think so. I think in the analytics, it tells me when someone is joined. To be, I haven't looked. I don't look at that real strongly, to be honest with you, in terms of that detail. But there are, it's a great point of interesting thing of who's been with you a long time, and so how did you run across me, Nick? I'm kind of curious.
Me?
Yes, sir.
We ran across on Rachel's.
Okay. Yeah, probably a lot of people.
That's where we first met. Yeah, Rachel brought a lot of people together, and yep, and that's been a few years now.
Yeah, sure.
Because she had just came back to her latest version before she left this last time, but she had disappeared and had came back, and I found her via Michael 45. She was doing the work for Michael, doing the computer stuff. Yeah.
I saw he was streaming today, which was, he doesn't do that often. He was on with Stunty and somebody else. I hadn't seen him on for a long time.
Yeah.
I think
Brad, how about you? How'd you run across me,
something
Brad?
Called...
It wasn't Rachel, I'm sure of that.
No, it wasn't. I think it was the algorithm, honestly. I mean, I'd subscribed to several, different channels, Michael 45, Melinda Murphy, etc. And I think it was one of your shootouts that you had done. It, just popped up in my feed, and I was like, oh, and it was a record I happened to be interested in. I can't remember which one it was. I might be able to go back through and figure it out. I can't remember offhand, but
so it's probably a recommendation from the algorithm.
Yeah, I think so. And then it really wasn't that long after that till you did the Fleetwood Mac self-title, and that's
how we got connected.
That's where we got connected, because I had that Ken Dunn master, and that's how we got connected, and that was 3 years ago now.
That wasn't long after I got started, because I started in March 22, so I'm just a little over 3 years running, actually.
Yeah. I mean, I think you might have had maybe a little over 100 subscribers, something like that. I don't like, that's the number that pops in my head is 100 and change. Yeah,
well, those were the 100 people I begged. Family members, whatever. So
well, it's and it's funny how, and I think and I communicated this to you when I reached out to you about, loaning you that record was, it's weird how you get a vibe, even through a screen or a stream or whatever. And it's like, there's likability factor. And, that was just part of it, being likable and being a nice person is a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Being genuine always nice.
I was surprised when somebody offered, to be honest with you, and I knew we're the first, and then it happened after that quite a few times. So that is good. Now I highlighted Belisario Sonic. He's got a great channel that compares records as well. So thank you very much for the congratulations.
Right. And I like his channel. It's good.
Yeah. So Ravens Dan said he probably saw it on a recommendation. I think the algorithm put one of your videos in my feed. Yeah, well, once in a while the algorithm is reasonable. Sometimes it goes the other way.
Yeah.
Probably on Surface Noise or Rachel's. Yeah. Novus was on Rachel's. Yeah. Brad probably with me. Yeah. Brad doesn't really do much independently, so
I don't do anything.
Hey, it's Psycho. How you doing, dude? Thanks, Mr. Arkansas, for joining.
Oh, cool.
Thanks, Dan. I appreciate it. Another algorithm referral. I think the 4K Blu-ray, I wonder if he's referring to Stop Making Sense by...
Yes, farther down he says that.
Yeah, I saw it. I wondered if that's why. Our buddy Dave in Wyoming, other YouTube channel recommendations.
Yeah, that's it.
Shootout.
It's funny what you were saying about likability and being able to sense things through the screen.
Well, did you see Robin's
I was on a Discord.
David, you do great shootouts.
Yeah.
I agree.
Absolutely.
Well, it takes time to do them, guys. I can tell you that.
Oh, and, for sure.
Stop Making Sense 4K. Yep. That's what he's talking about. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
So check out Belisario Sonic's question there, because I'm curious about that too, because I saw the photo. Yeah.
So I was standing at the booth. It was probably, I don't know, 1 o'clock, something like that. And Armando had just left to go, or maybe it was, I just can't remember the days. I'll see him saying, but maybe it was Sunday. But Armando went to go talk to somebody at another booth. And I'm standing there and I noticed this guy, and he's got sunglasses on in the building, which was kind of weird. And he looked almost a little bit like a young Ozzy Osbourne, Oh, yeah. And then I notice there's a guy with him with a hat behind him with a feathered hat. And then another guy taking pictures, and somebody's talking to him, and I'm looking at him, and he turns my way, and I'm thinking, man, if that guy didn't have sunglasses on, I'd think it was Jack White. So there was a guy in front of me, and no sooner I looked at him, he was taking a picture of him. And so I said, is that Jack White? He said, yeah, that's Jack White. I said, oh, okay. So so he was done talking to that guy he was talking to. He started to move, and I came around the end of my table and just say, can I get a picture with you? He said, oh, sure. How you doing? And I said, fine. And then, just stood in front of the table with the banners behind me. And that was about it. I mean, he was stopping for anybody who wanted him, It was really nice. I saw him carrying around records.
That's sweet.
Yeah. So he was there a few hours for sure.
That's cool.
What's the next shootout? Well, I can tell you one I've got on the turntable right now. I've got a few in the can that I haven't videoed yet, but Jethro Tull Benefit, I got the Analog Productions version of that. So I'll be doing a comparison of that.
I've been looking at that album. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I have an OG. That's great.
Rick's V Spinner says he's seen some. Marius, how are you? Good to see you. Thanks for coming. I know you're in a much later time zone. I helped you decide on a lot of purchases. Well, I hope you've been happy with them. Now I can tell everybody I know Jack. Never go through an airport. Never go through an airport and say, "Hi, Jack." Never
Hey,
do that.
I think the cool thing about Jack White is, I mean, he clearly cares about sound. I mean, that White Stripes Elephant UHQR is killer, and apparently he was pretty.
Yeah.
I think he was fairly involved with that, and that's a really good sounding record.
Yeah, there he is, the man, the myth, the legend, Royce. He's counting his money. I can see he's counting his money.
Yeah.
He's in the house.
Royce.
He's actually in the suburbs right now.
Yeah. I don't think he.
Looks like he's frozen, maybe.
Yep.
He can't be frozen. He lives in California.
You never know.
Oh, never
too funny.
steered you wrong. Well, I appreciate that. Well, I'm gonna. There he comes. There he is.
Where did everybody go?
Can't hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes.
Okay, I can hear you now, but you're kind of frozen-ish.
Okay.
All I see is
really?
a face fit for radio.
This thing, I don't know.
Oh, there he is.
I wonder what the problem is.
Yeah. There you go. Now it's working.
All right.
Hello there.
Hey, Nick. Nick,
good to see you, Royce.
Yeah, good to see you too. Hey, Brad, how you doing?
Hey, Royce, nice to meet you.
Yeah, you too. Hey, David, can you hear me okay now?
I can.
Okay, I want to give my heartfelt congratulations to you. 5,000. It seems like only yesterday you were hitting 2,000.
Yeah, well, that's how it feels when life streams by.
Yes, it does. Yep. It streams by. That's right.
Yeah. So this thing about the numbers, that's doing them on the shootouts. That's kind of something. I'm maybe Brad. Do you remember how that evolved? I mean, I work with you probably the most, so I'm kind of trying to figure how that came to that, because I didn't do it at first, obviously.
No, you didn't. But it didn't seem like it was that long into the, your channel that you started doing that, and you've obviously refined it over time. Yeah. I think, adding the, the data around, it's so important to volume match when you do those, and, matching, where did they land in terms of the differences in dB. And I think it's helpful to quantify those things, in that way.
Yeah, it's difficult because there's some now lately that I've given like 7s to and 6s, and it's like, but that's my way of saying, don't do it.
Hey, David.
Yes, sir.
I can hear myself talking from a few minutes ago. I think I'm going to go out and come back in.
Okay. Do you have it streaming in another window where you were watching it? That's probably just need to shut the volume off on that or shut it down.
Okay. Hold on.
That's probably what it is. Yeah.
It's probably YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah. You probably have a YouTube window open. Close that and it'll stop.
I think I've just killed it. Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah. That happens.
You're coming through good. So.
Yeah. You're fine.
Well, David, do you remember how we met?
No, remind me.
Which CD alley was that?
Okay. Well, what? Yeah, Allie was that right? Well, no, Rachel brought you and Novice Nick together over to my channel. She was having a show someplace, and she found out I was streaming, and she brought her whole crew over there, and you guys were both on my in my panel at the same time. You and Nick, remember that?
Okay.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. She was showing me how to wrench people up and stuff like that.
That's right. Yep. Yeah.
I called it training day.
Yeah, I do now. Yeah, great memories. Absolutely.
Yeah. No, that was fun. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. That was a long time ago. I saw Rachel came on today with Mazzy
and Harry.
Yeah, Harry and Mazzy. Right. I didn't see the show.
They were doing a Beatles trivia thing.
trivia. I saw later that they had been on. Let me put it that way.
Yeah.
So anyway, I don't know what's going on there, but
Yeah.
I was over at Paul's earlier. Let's see. You know Paul.
Psycho Platters?
Psycho's Platters, yeah.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
on
and,
here. He's in the peanut gallery.
Oh, no, yeah, I heard you bring that up a little while ago. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, a fake Michael Nolan came on. It was telling me to screw off.
Oh, jeez.
Well,
Yeah. Yeah,
Michael-
we've been getting trolled by this guy. It looks like, it's got Michael's picture. It's almost identical, but I guess
Yeah.
there's some really slight variations if you know it well. And so anyway, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, Behrman asked how many OGs have won a shootout, if any. And there certainly are some that have definitely won. I mean, the most recent one was the Tracy Chapman for me.
Yeah.
That
Another was the the Black Sabbath self-title.
Yes.
The OG, the Greenie, the
Greenie versus the Rhino.
Yeah. And then another one was the Cyndi Lauper. She's so unusual.
Oh yeah.
That was a
that
wild
MoFi was awful.
Yeah.
The Cars MoFi was awful. Well, the Rhino beat that.
Yeah.
So I
Thriller too.
Yeah, that's right. The Thriller.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
So speaking of the Rhino's Hi-Fi, the Rhino Cars Hi-Fi, the first one they ever came out with that hasn't been redone, I had a sealed copy of that because I bought two and I sold it at the show this past weekend. And I took the money and I bought Let It Be Naked on vinyl with the 7-inch.
Wow.
Because I've been looking for that one. And this is sealed.
Grail.
It's a grail for me. Yeah, it's a grail for me.
You've been traveling around a lot, haven't you, David?
Yeah, a bit to shows. I was in Austin and I was in Chicago a few weeks ago for Expona.
Yeah. Okay.
And that was interesting. I spent about an hour and a half in the MoFi room with the mastering engineers, talking to them, Sean Britton, and I can't remember the other guy's name. He does a lot of the CD mastering, but got to hear the upcoming release of Dreamboat Annie that they're releasing in June.
Gotcha.
Sounded really, really good.
Nice.
Really good.
Nice.
The Rhinos the Rhinos sealed went for 200. Went for 200.
Wow. 200.
Yeah. And that was a good deal, actually.
Yeah.
So
okay.
So just to give you an idea. So I was in that room and a lady across the room shows up coming through the door. These are like hotel rooms that they take all the furniture out of and set up systems. And this lady comes in the room and she looks at me and I notice her and she points at me and she does this, like, come here. And I'm thinking,
what? No bed?
Yeah, right. Well,
I'm so bad.
You are. So I go over there and she basically, she doesn't really introduce herself, but she basically says, so how are we doing now? Basically in a long-winded way of saying it. And I'm thinking, who is this? And I look down and it's Bridget Davis, who is Jim Davis, the owner of MoFi and Music Direct's wife.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So I'm
That's
like,
a serious question.
I'm like, well, better. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the titles, they definitely are taking on some titles that, are newer. And, so, I mean, I think that's really important. We talked a little bit about the Tango in the Night, disc 1 issue, and replacing it and maybe some of the communication around it. But, overall, I think they're definitely trying to expand their portfolio, which is I think that's a decent strategy because they can stand out a bit for doing that. They definitely can do that.
I think it's a precarious place that they were in and are transitioning through. And it's a delicate walk, and I think they're doing a fine job of it, actually. Yes, they got some people upset, but I think they're winning them over with product and selection, and just trying to make sure they put out the best product they can. Being straight up front with that one disc and saying, "Hey, we got it. Don't worry about it. We're gonna fix it." I mean, right up front, there was no hemming and hawing about. That was great strategy. So I think they're going to be around for a long haul. At least I'm hoping so.
Well, that was part of their strategy. The problem with that strategy was that they acknowledged it because Facebook brought it out to them.
Well, yeah.
And then, I don't know, Brad, you bought it. Did you get an email saying there was a problem and you were going to get a replacement? Nope. No. So they didn't notify. So if you found out, you knew it. So here's the issue. Here's the issue. Here I am. I bought this record and I know nothing about this. And all of a sudden, one day, one LP shows up in a sleeve with no information. And I'm like, why the hell did you send me this? I already bought the album. No letter, no nothing.
That's some of the biggest breakdown in every company, no matter how big or small.
Communication.
If you don't communicate, it hurts you. Yes.
What'd you say, Brad?
They didn't just send it, right? You had to ask for it.
Yes.
Yeah.
You had to notify them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which you did.
It's a shame. I didn't know that part.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, it's devil's in the details, but I mean, and that's why I said it's, closer, but kind of my thing is, I don't know who their PR company is, but they're acting like it's 1980. The communication window and speed is so much greater now than it used to be. You got to be really tight and you got to be really responsive and aware. And you got to, stay ahead of things. And I just think wherever they're getting their advice from is not really in the digital age, is what I would say.
It sounds like they need to be a little more firm with them, saying, "Hey, it's going to cost us a few more dollars up front, but in the long run, we're not going to look like we're trying to sleaze out of a few
Yeah, and I don't think that they are per se. I just don't know where they're. I don't know where the advice. I don't know where the advice is coming from.
Right. Well, maybe.
But I'm available for hire.
The VC.
I'm available for PR. I'll help them if they want help. Now they got to realize I'm going to be ugly truthful too. So
that's a trade-off.
Yeah, I've been known to be called blatantly blunt, but sometimes you just need to be. It's like, look, I love you, but
I never noticed that, Nick.
Yeah, right. Ask Michael.
Right.
Oh, me and him have so much fun.
No, I guess I did notice. That.
Yeah, but hey, if it comes from a good place and not a dark place, I don't see the harm in it. But yeah,
no, not at all.
Sometimes it could be a little gentler.
So here's an interesting, and this happens, and so Cesar says he disagrees and thinks that his OG of Rumors is better than the Palace 2x45.
Wow.
And maybe he said, maybe I have a hot stamper. Maybe you do. I don't know. I would be curious what you do have.
Yeah.
In other words, which plant or what, which one do you have? Because to me, the 2x45 wasn't even really close.
Yeah, that's the shit.
So, and I'm not saying you're wrong relative to what you have, but it would be interesting to know what you have, because maybe there is a cut out there that was really different. There's there are those anomalies that occur, I'm looking for a Billy Joel Stranger that's done by RL. It was the second cut. It wasn't the first one because Ted Jensen did the first one at Sterling, and then RL did it, and it was way better.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they're not easy to find.
It could also be with Cesar. It could also be, the 35 flavors of ice cream. Some people like chocolate and some like vanilla. Your ear tends to appreciate this
Yeah.
more than you appreciate that,
Because I had a Fleetwood Mac self-titled. It wasn't a Ken done, and then Brad sent me his Ken done, and it was a lot better than the OG I had.
Yeah.
So there you go.
So I'd wonder.
Brad brought up another couple of originals that beat the MoFis in this case. Tears for Fears, U.S. Songs from the Big Chair, and then Sowing the Seeds UK won. So those were OGs that won. I got a question here. What do you think of the music they play in most of those demo rooms? Wow. Awful.
Yeah.
I mean, really, really, when they'll play something that's so esoteric, there's no vocals, there's no deep bass. You don't know what the speaker can really do. Demo rooms on the whole, it's just, I don't know. It's a bit of a joke in a way, really. The sonics are bad. People are talking. I mean, a lot of them, if you ask for something, they've got pre-lists for what they'll play on those speakers, and that's all they'll play.
Yeah.
So
I see. Yeah.
It's to go and see the equipment, look at the equipment, whatever. But, to think you're going to get a showroom experience, forget it.
No way, huh?
No way.
Yeah.
Wow. Interesting.
No. The most impressive thing I heard in Expona was a room where and I don't even remember what brand speakers they were, and I don't really care, because these were some like wood dowels that were long, and they had them covered, and they had them in places on the left and right side of the front speakers. They had them down toward the middle in the front, two in back. And what they did is they played this same track by the Carpenters, of all things, which I know very well. And they took these, they revealed these room accoutrements incrementally they played the same exact piece of the music every time. And it blew me away how much it changed and richened the way that music sounded in that room.
Okay.
So I was more impressed with treatments than I was with equipment.
Wow.
So
it goes to show how important that is.
Music is
that sounds like strategy on somebody's part there.
Yeah. But it was a very well controlled demo.
Okay.
I mean, they pick something and then they let you hear it over and over, and it evolved. They didn't, they had a strategy to show off, so to speak, what they were trying to make.
Right.
And they were very successful at it.
Nice.
Take a look at Bearman 34's latest. That's a really interesting question.
I just want to make sure I go through. Okay. Yeah, the Fidelity pressing plant is putting out some damn good product.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that. What album would you want reissued that hasn't been? And what would you want to, who would you want to? Okay. Jeez. That's a toughie.
That's something you have to work on.
To be honest, for me, and this is pretty narrow thinking, I brought this out earlier. One is Christopher Cross, self-titled. I'd like an audiophile version of that because I think it's a great sonic album. The other is Paul Carrick's One Good Reason, which is an album I use for trying out equipment. And I think it could be, I think it has even more in the tape than what there is. So
Okay.
those would be
I agree
two
with
just
you.
off the top of my head.
Right.
Let's see. I have high hopes for the upcoming STP Tiny Music MoFi release. Yeah. Yeah, well, Tears for Fears are so good. Yes, they are. Brad, you went to see him twice at the Sphere in Vegas.
No, that was the Eagles.
Oh, it was the Eagles. Well, you only went to see Tears for Fears once?
Yeah, and it was at the Fountain Blue. They were fantastic.
Fountain Blue. Okay. It wasn't. Sorry about that. It was the Eagles you saw. Okay.
Yeah. Which, by the way, that's what I would pick to be reissued is Sowing the Seeds of Love.
Okay.
Like a 2x45 would be. I would love to see what Chris Bellman, Devin Gray, whoever could do with that. I mean, it's very well recorded as is, but that's the thing. I feel like there's still more they could get out of it, you know?
Yeah.
Hey, Brad, how did you like the Sphere, that experience?
It's incredible.
It looks absolutely amazing. I get differing opinions. Some people say it takes away from the music because it's just too busy, but I think I would really like it. I grew up in Vegas, well, just outside in Henderson. And I'm sure I would have already been there by now if I was still living there.
So I can tell you, so I saw U2 when they played it, and then I saw the Eagles twice. And if they, because I had the same concern, like, is the stuff on the screen going to distract her? And I think both of them did a great job of balancing the two. And to me, that is the evolution of the concert experience. I mean, now you go to a regular concert and they got a screen or two, and you're like, oh,
right.
Yeah,
it's not even close.
No, not even in the ballpark.
So you're saying that
I think I would enjoy it.
You believe the screen will eventually make money?
I don't know. I mean,
you think it'll finally make money? Because from what I've heard, it hasn't made any money.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
That? Yeah, I mean, ultimately they have to turn a profit or it goes away.
Yeah.
And from what I heard, there's
Tesla
only
hasn't
one
gone
band.
away.
What's that?
So Tesla hadn't gone away, and they're not turning their profits.
Short term.
So I want to address this.
I think he has enough money to float it for a while. Who are the backers of the Sphere?
So I want to address this comment.
What was I going to say? Okay.
Just give me 1 sec. I want to address this because you're right. I mean, yeah, I could have told the MoFi lady, I'll send them all and I'll review them. Well, I've been offered to be sent records as promos free, and I turned that down. I don't want that. There's several reasons. One, I want to be objective and feel totally open to say whatever I want and feel no compunction to follow somebody just because, you know, they're sending me something. And the other is I only want to review what I like.
Yeah.
If it's something I want to buy and I have enough interest in to take the time to do it. And that's why I only do certain ones of the AP75. I bought the subscription to support the work of Analog Productions doing that. But, you know, I've only reviewed probably 20% of them so far, if that. Okay. So I don't take freebies. I just made a decision a long time ago that, because when I started to get more viewers and more popular, so to speak, I guess I was offered, and I'm just not in that. Won't do that. A lot of hellos and howdies.
Can I add a thought to that?
Yes, sure. Please do.
Can I? Okay.
Yeah.
One of the I can see one of the reasons of not taking albums that you're not interested in is because the amount of time, serious time, I know for a fact that you put in and able to muster up to do a review of your caliber. And I'm not blowing smoke or trying to throw praise on you that's unearned. There's a lot of work you go through. And you must be just sick of the album by the time you get done reviewing it. I mean, and who wants to review an album that you don't really care to hear to start with.
Have no
Right.
interest in, right?
Yeah,
right.
right. So, and you're going to invest that kind of time and not enjoy it? I mean, at least get sick and tired of music you like.
David, when you're comparing different pressings and stuff like that of the same album, how many times do you feel like, I mean, I'm sure there are some that are just so blatantly obvious. There's bad copies and good copies.
Sure.
But how many times, if it's fairly close, do you have to wind up listening, or have you wound up listening to those albums?
There have been times where, because I, have two turntables, so I A/B them. I've had times where
that's nice.
Yeah. So I've had times where I pick key songs usually. I don't go through usually the whole album, but there have been times when it's been 4 or 5 times.
And
I can see that. Yeah.
Even that kind of short changes it, because you're talking about a few different tracks on, let's say, 5 or 6 different albums, or 4. Okay, and then you have all those different categories that you're reviewing it for, that you're having to pay. That takes conscious decisions. So you're having to, do it for each one of those categories, and it keeps adding categories, but they're all, but they all mean something.
I tried to A and B 2 copies of Yellow Brick Road, Elton John. And I can remember standing in my living room with my eyes closed, and listening to song after song after song. And then I'd go back and listen, then go back and listen. I had a little report card there. And that was very, very difficult. Sometimes they were so close. Then other times, you could tell. I mean, you could, it wasn't that hard to pick one over the other. But I think I wound up giving that one to the original pressing. It's funny thing is, I had been looking for Yellow Brick Road. I was looking for a used copy of it, and I just never could find one. And so I bought a new copy, and the very next day I went to one of my favorite antique stores. It has, keeps the shelves full with vinyl. Got people coming and doing that. And there it was. There was like a perfect copy of an original pressing. So like I got both of them back to back. I thought, okay, this is a perfect opportunity. And I had a hell of I never actually did finish the complete double album.
Yeah, that's a lot of work. There's the pride of Missouri.
Well, I'm from the Show Me State. Show me 7, I'll show you 8.
I tried to show you Jack White, but you got out of town on me.
Hey, I gotta run. Once people know where I am, they want to mess with my hotel room. They want to mess with my water supply. So cut my brakes. I see some of these heroes here already in the chat. So I'm gonna take my time limited.
Thanks, bud. How are you?
Good. Thanks for the invite. I want to congratulate you on your 5K.
Sure.
And I want to say hi to Brad and Nick and Royce. Hope you guys are doing well.
Indeed.
Doing well. Thank you. Hope you are
so
too.
Did you pick up anything in Austin? Did you anything that you're willing to say on television? No?
It was an outreach program. I was there just to shake hands, kiss babies, give the ladies, keep the teachers off the poles, all that kind of stuff. But no, I had a good man. No, listen, those 45 dealers, those guys from Albuquerque got a lot of my money. The slow-mo guys.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. They Saturday morning, I was posted up there for a good hour and a half, just combing through all those 90s 45s. Because these guys, not like a lot of dealers, but they had things segmented by year, genre. Like they're on 45s, which is like the last bastion of. That's a lot of work, and so I appreciated that. And they were like $5 a piece, a lot of them. So I did a lot of damage, or I did a lot of good, however you want to look at it.
Maybe a little bit of both.
A little bit of both. Well, you're right. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I saw your video on top 10 sales on eBay, and most of those were 45s, right? If not all.
Yeah, that's monopoly money. I can't relate to that kind. I mean, more power to those people, but. But yeah, I mean, thousands of dollars. Can you guys imagine spending thousands of dollars on a record, let alone a 45 that has one song on each side? I mean, wow.
No stream would be worth its weight in anything if I didn't ask, what's your preferred method of cleaning those 45s? It's a valid question.
Nick, do we need to turn down the lights? Do we need to get comfortable? Do we need to draw a
Let me
lap?
find my lube.
A
You
bath
got the
bomb?
lubricant?
That's what I just said. Let me find my lube.
Hang on. It's the top of the hour. I want to make sure the children are to bed, and then we can talk like adults around.
Let me see if I can get Mr. Kermis on.
Who are them white gloves? Dang it!
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh.
It's crazy. Oh.
Wow.
So
Yeah, I
tell
don't
me-
know anything about records. I'm brought for the comic relief.
Oh, okay.
Well, don't forget to tip your waiters and waitresses, Nick, because that was the only thing I was waiting for. Is that the
Absolutely.
fair enough?
Absolutely. Well, that's usually towards the end of the meal, right?
So I'm gonna let me see if I've got my sharing thing ready to go here. So I'm going to show you guys if I can. If I can get this
Oh, spreadsheet, David. I look at spreadsheets all day. Oh man. Now I know why you brought me up here. Do you have a formula you need me to crack for you? I can do that for you.
Yeah, I do. Hang on. This thing isn't cooperating. It's Excel.
Well, then there you go.
Excel is not cooperating. Can you believe it?
Mm.
So I'm going to
Yeah.
tell you guys what records I'm going to be giving away. We'll get started on that. There we go. Contest winners. 5K. Okay. All right. So let me share this screen and go. Claim offer. Now that's YouTube trying to sell me something.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Go
Imagine that.
Yeah.
figure, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the ones I'm going to be giving away. Need to Breathe is the artist. Out of Body's the album. Whitney Houston, One Wish for Christmas. Trans-Siberian Orchestra for a Christmas album. 2 soundtracks. The Elf soundtrack on blue vinyl and West Side Story. Tears for Fears, The Tipping Point. Green Grass vinyl. That was my album of the year of 2022. Tom Petty, Angel Dream, RSD. The Pogues, Best Of on orange vinyl. CCR at the Royal Albert Hall. Warren Zevon, Best Of, Rhino. ZZ Top Eliminator, Walmart Yellow. Led Zeppelin 1, Walmart Backstage Pass. And Lost in Translation. And I've added another one, Annie Lennox Divas LP. So
Now, David, did these fall off the truck somewhere? I have to ask because if we need to, I don't want to be involved in any kind of illegal activity. I need to know.
No, these are from my collection.
Fair enough. I had
Right.
to ask.
Those are all sealed, by the way.
All right.
Let me bring up the Wheel of Misfortune here.
All right.
Okay, so if one of you guys can name the person who types this in so I can put it into the list of people. So if you want to be part of the contest, and you can be part of the contest regardless of where you're located, I'll ship you the record no matter what. Just in the chat, type contest, and then I'll know. And then if Brad, if you can name them off for me, then I can add them to the wheel as we go.
Well, might get Nick to do it. I got to jump off in about 5
okay. All right, that's fine.
What am I doing? I'm naming them off. Okay. Uh-oh.
Whoever writes content.
Nick, we need your social security number. Can you give it to us over
Yeah,
there?
1 second. Okay. There's me, Jeremy. Mugu.
Got him. I got him.
Beer and vinyl. Andy G.
Who? What? Peer and vinyl?
Andy G. Robins Den. Michael Daniels. Greg. Beerman 34. R3. Yeah. R3TROV. Yeah. Okay. There's Mr. Steve. KRWD. Cesar. Wyoming Dave. Ivan Music Man. James Farley. Cripple Creek Carl. Thank you all for coming. Swift-O-Matic. Robins Den, you already. Hey.
Yeah, we got some double hitters here.
I see this. Rick's V Spinner. Yeah, and a double dipper again. That's all we see.
Okay. I'm getting them in here.
All right.
Using
You gonna go through
shorthand
them
on
again?
some of them.
What the heck is this?
No,
Breck
Cesar,
King-
he got you. I heard. Listen, that's the reason I came
I
up
got
with.
Cesar.
Younger set of eyes
Breakfast
up
King,
here.
this is a 5,000 appreciation. 5,000 subs for the big man, David
Cripple
here.
Creek.
No, I didn't miss you, Cesar. I would never do that.
I got Cesar.
I know
got
you
him.
do. Dave Rowan,
Ivan. I got Ivan.
Stark says, good luck. I don't
Mike-
mean the
Mike
same
Daniels
choice.
winning.
No problem, Rovens, then. No worries, sir. Okay,
well,
perfect.
let me bring the screen up, and then they can tell me. They can look for their name and make sure it's on there.
There you go.
There you go. Share screen.
Absolument.
Do the wheel. There goes the wheel.
Look at that pretty colors.
So look for your name. If you don't think your name's on there, let me know.
Oh no! Oh, David, you better take me out of this. I've won too many of your contests, and they know the fix will be in. So I will defer to the next person.
Cripple Creek.
I put you on there.
Mugu, Daniel. There's Cesar. How about KRW?
Mugu, Ugu. Boo boo
Anybody
doo
see
doo.
KRW? There he is. Oh, that's Rick's V. KRWD? I don't see him.
KRWD's on there.
Okay.
You can look on the right column there. I'm scrolling it too.
Yeah, not on my
Probably
screen. I can't.
Oh, okay. You got small
Okay.
screen.
Hey, David, I got to jump off, but I wanted to say congratulations to you, buddy.
Thank you, buddy.
before
Thanks
Good
for all
to
your
see ya.
thanks for all your help, and I'll let you know if you win.
Okay.
All right.
You guys, I'm
Thanks,
going to stay
Brad.
on the stream for a
Take
bit.
care.
But
God
Okay,
bless.
take it easy. Thank you.
Okay.
See you.
Bye-bye.
I'm here. See me waving
Okay.
in the back row. I
Anybody
see
think
you.
they're missing?
I see you waving in the back row. Retro Rave.
Anybody else?
Yeah, there you go. Retro
see.
Rave. That's easier. Yeah. English as a fourth language. Okay.
Okay, we ready?
Was there Greg? Did you guys cover Greg?
I called out
I don't-
Greg.
Because I see Greg saying, "Am I there?"
Greg, what?
I called.
It's
Greg,
just
just
it's
Greg.
just Greg. It's like
I
Madonna.
called
okay,
him out.
Greg, I
We
got
must
Greg.
have missed Greg.
Kanye,
Good catch,
Greg.
Greg.
I got you, Greg.
All right. Anybody else? Going once. Survey says.
Okay. All right, let's do our
Oh.
first spin.
Nice job on the picture.
Don't.
Don't.
Here comes the fix.
Nick's the winner. So, Nick, what do you think,
Oh.
Nick?
I have Warren Zevon written down first, so looks like
Okay.
Warren.
Let me throw that. Let me
I
put your name next to
Appreciate
that
you
one.
so much.
Good. Okay, Nick's got that one. I removed
Okay.
your name, so you're
All right.
the odds are getting better for everybody else.
That's right.
Come on,
Survey
concert
says
fondue. Let's go.
beer final.
Beer,
Hey,
beer and vinyl.
Alex having a big day. He had an interview on the podcast to come out today. Now he's won
Yeah.
a fantastic record. Alex,
Wow.
living his best life.
So,
Like
beer
beer and
and vinyl,
vinyl.
did you any of those titles that I mentioned catch your fancy?
Be right back. I'm listening.
What are my options?
Well, you missed that.
Okay, let me. Here's your options. This thing doesn't let you share more than one at a time, I guess. One screen at a time, does it, Chance?
Yeah, it's technological.
Share.
That first peer-to-peer server died today. Did you hear about that? What was the first peer-to-peer where you can look at somebody and talk?
Here you go, Beer and Vinyl. This is the list. Chance, if he responds, can you just verbally tell me who it is?
I'll take care of it. I'll run the backstage. No worries.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. Nick, did you mean Skype? Did Skype kick?
Yeah, there it is. Skype. I couldn't think of the name. It officially died today.
Microsoft killed it.
Oh, no kidding.
Yep, they couldn't figure out how to put more than one person on the screen. What a shame. I mean, what a shame. They were there in the beginning, ready to boom during COVID, and they died.
Final chance, Beer and Vinyl. Everybody else, take a look at the list while it's up.
Yeah, no.
So Alex says Tears for Fears. He wants the Tears for Fears.
I happen to be right on that one. Okay.
There you go.
There it is.
That's a very good. That's a good selection.
Yes, it is.
All right. Time to go again.
All right, the wheel.
The wheel of misfortune.
Uh-huh.
Michael Danielson.
We don't see no stinking wheel.
Yeah, you guys switch the display, David.
We don't see no stinking wheel. He's calling names.
Stinking wheel.
There's no stinking wheel around here, man.
Oh, this is.
Beer and Vinyl's upset with you, Nick. He said you took his Warren Zevon, so he had. That's why he
broke his heart.
He took his number one draft pick, so he had.
I got lucky. Look,
what do they call it? Sloppy seconds? Is that what they call that around here?
I actually wrote them down in the order I was looking at them.
Michael Danielson, what's your pick? And I'm not bringing that other screen up.
There it is.
Yeah.
Michael Danielson. Need to Breathe, Whitney Houston, Trans-Siberian, Elf, West Side Story, Tom Petty, Angel Dream, Best of Pogues.
We got CCR. Mike Danielson will take the CCR.
Okay.
Yeah. There you go.
All right. That's a craft recording.
Yes.
All right. Let's do this one.
Oh, there you go, David.
Everybody's a wiener.
All right, KRWD.
You're on the clock. This is like draft day, right?
That's right.
You're on the clock. Last year's winner of the Super Bowl is the Eagles. Fly. No Eagles fans. Well, that's just too bad. Yeah. It was a beautiful
RWD is still online.
we got. They're going to take TSO, Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
There you go. That was my second choice. Good pick. Already had the Tears for Fears.
All right.
Round and round she goes. Ah, yes.
Ah, yes. Cripple Creek Carl. Up on Cripple Creek.
So, David, while we're waiting for Cripple Creek Carl's choice, how do these folks get a hold of you to work out the logistics?
Thank you, sir. You are always so helpful. Email me at that, and you can give me your address, and I will ship it to you.
Look at that. And Cripple Creek Carl, right on time, says, I'll do the petty. Thanks.
Petty thanks. You say he's giving me petty thanks?
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, what a sport, right?
We call that something else where I'm from, but, hey, that's what they want to say publicly.
Just for that, I'm going to remove him. No. There we go. Man. All right. Man.
That's it.
I don't know why Mark Daniels. Badu. Hey, Badu.
The buddy.
Listen, I'm gonna do a goodwill effort. If Maria Stark is still here, I want Maria Stark to take my choice. This is what we call hands across the aisle. So if Marius wants one,
this is more like hands across the ocean.
Well, no, I think he's domestic. So Marius, why don't you pick one guy?
Okay.
And if he's not
Marius,
here,
if you're still on,
you're on the clock. Yeah. Tick tock, tick tock. There it goes. All right.
Well, Marius is returning my kindness with more kindness.
Yeah.
So whatever I want. So you know what? Here, I'm gonna go ahead and go to the next one. I'll let somebody go ahead, and then we'll see how we get rid of this.
Okay.
All right. And we're off.
Wyoming Day.
There you go.
No. Lost it.
No, James Farley. Look at that.
Just slipped over the edge. Woo-hoo. We have left Annie Lennox Divas, Lost in Translation soundtrack, Led Zeppelin 1, ZZ Top Eliminator, Best of Pogues, West Side Story soundtrack, Elf soundtrack, and Out of Body by Need to Breathe.
I'll let James. James wants West Side Story, and you can put me down for the Lost in Translation soundtrack, David, and then I will. I'll find it home.
All right.
Okay. Got it. All right. Time to keep spinning. Come on, Windows. Damn it. Here we go again.
Not Mugu. Oh,
Yeah.
no.
Mogo.
Mugu again.
Mogo.
All right, Mugu. Is this Mr. Mugu? I think he left office a few months ago. Mr. Mugu.
Mr. Mogo.
Does he have a way back machine?
Mr. Mugu.
Mr. Mugu says
Mr. Mugu.
Annie
Mr.
Lennox.
Mugu.
No.
It is way back machine. Or is the crowd
That
too
is
young?
that is one of the best Sonic albums there is out there. So
Is it?
enjoy that.
Oh, Annie Lennox. Yeah.
I just got those at the show.
Sweet. Andy D. Nice spin, Vanna.
Rovin' Dan.
Robin Dan.
Rovin'.
Come on down.
Keep those puppies roving. We're down to Led Zeppelin 1, Walmart, ZZ Top Eliminator, Best of Pogues, Elf soundtrack, Whitney Houston Christmas record, and Need to Breathe, Out of Body.
David, you didn't put any of your Mute Math albums up. I thought that would be a real generous effort to put those Mute Math records up. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
All right, Rovin's Den says, well, since Lost is gone, I'll go for Zeppelin.
Okay.
Hey, Chance.
I think I've made some people mad with my choice. I apologize, everyone.
Chance, it's the top of the hour. You need to take your meds.
I need to change my undergarments. My depend is full. I have to change it. Sorry.
Oh. Hold your breath. Hold your breath.
Oh, David, this one's gonna be expensive. I think Rick's an overseer, so you're gonna be a high postage one here.
Make it worth it.
Out of Body by Need to Breathe, Christmas by Whitney Houston, the Elf soundtrack, Best of the Pogues, ZZ Top Eliminator.
All fine choices. That survey says
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, so Rick's is he's taking a page out of my book.
Uh-huh.
Based in Toronto, but there's nothing left I need. Thanks anyway. Give it to the next winner. So
He's taking the
run it back, David. Run it back.
Taking it. Go ahead. Spin the wheel, Vanna.
Okay. No problem. I have no idea what Brad wants.
Yeah, let's spin it again.
Brad, you won, but you lost.
Well,
he wants to hear that you snooze, you lose.
Yeah. Well, when he watches this back, he's gonna feel really bad.
Yeah.
Nope. Here
There
he is.
you go,
Cesar.
Cesar.
Here he is.
There we go.
What's the big man want?
California's fine. All right, Cesar.
Got Need to Breathe, Whitney Houston.
You need a linebacker.
Now, secretly,
Cesar,
Cesar
what
is a
you need?
huge Whitney Houston fan. Huge. Do you know what Whitney Houston's last words were?
Oh God.
Blup, 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 blup. Isn't that how the joke goes?
You know, I really think it's still too soon.
It's still too soon.
Oh, what a shame.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
The same thing her daughter said.
I think her daughter passed away not too long after her, right?
The exact same way.
Oh, I didn't know that part.
Yeah, that's why I was. Never mind. Too soon.
so the family doesn't bathe any longer, apparently. So.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah. Like, who takes baths anymore over the age of 2? You know, I don't know. Cesar's going for Elf just for the cover. So
All
big
right.
fan.
Okay.
There you
I mean,
go.
you don't like the movie, Cesar? Come on, it's a great movie.
Great movie.
Funny you should mention
Who couldn't
Elf.
like Zoe Dashel?
We have a ceramic cat at the restaurant that I've been moving around the restaurant every day for months now.
You have a real cat at the restaurant. What are you talking about?
No. This
Andy
is a
D.
ceramic cat.
Andy D.
Andy D, not to be confused with Andy G, Andy C,
Yeah, right.
or
right.
Andy
I
D.
get it
Andy
wrong?
D.
Yes,
Is there
Andy
an
C,
Andy D?
I think Andy's still here.
Yeah. Andy's on the clock.
What happened to Royce? Was Royce so disgusted with
I
did
don't
somebody take his choice? He just said, "Piss off." Is that what happened?
No, I'm
I don't think he was
backstage.
even here
All right,
when
there
it
he is.
started.
There he is. Okay, Royce, I was worried about you. You've been gone. I thought
I
you
don't
were.
know how that
You
happened.
went for a
Sorry.
walk. You're so frustrated with the prize clause.
So he's been in the back room waiting all this time,
Not, yes, I have.
and he's still waiting.
Poor guy.
Okay, Andy D.
Yeah.
Yep, we got
Andy
Andy
D.
D.
What's left in the booty closet, David?
What's left?
Whitney Houston, of course. The
Wait, this is
Whitney
the wrong
Houston,
Andy.
Need to Breathe, Best of the Pogues, and ZZ Top Eliminator.
Oh, if there's not a bigger ZZ Top fan than Andy G, I don't know who is. So, but we'll see. Maybe he's
The
got
odds
that.
are getting so much better.
Oh, he's going to take Whitney. We've got Whitney.
Whitney, it is. All right, Christmas album. Should be a pretty good album.
Yeah, he did have ZZ Top. I knew it, Andy. I knew it. You're a big fan of those long
Yep.
beards, those spinning
Oh
guitar.
God, that's some good music, man.
Hang on. Oh, YO Dave. That's right. He did win it. Look at it. Oh,
Yeah, he-
Okay, we got Need to Breathe, Best of the Pogues, and ZZ Top.
I thought he won already. No.
no, it bumped to James Farley. It was a controversial.
Oh, that's
finish
right. That's
because
right.
we declared him, and then the wheel kept ticking. It was like a
I
golf.
know
Yeah.
that was horrible. I'm glad you won.
Living on the Edge.
So YO wants ZZ Top because
There you go.
he those the girls go crazy for a sharp dressed man, but Dave goes crazy for 3 long beards. So take it as you will.
But not Tush.
That's a really
Bear
good box
Man.
set. That's ZZ Top.
Bear Man. So we're down to the Best of the Pogues and Out of Body by Need to Breathe. And for both of those, he's probably going, who?
Yeah. Well, my father would have gave you another option. Guts.
Can't even give this stuff away, I swear.
So
Out of
Bearman
body.
says out of body, out of body.
All right.
Hey, Bearman.
Hey, folks, hit that like button for us, would you? We failed to mention that all night. That's terrible.
Oh, just in time. Look who's back.
Oh, Royce, it's rigged. It's rigged.
Big winner.
Royce is getting the pogues.
Hey,
Okay,
any
there's only 4
recommendations?
people who didn't win.
Yeah. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Thank you, David. Appreciate it.
Yeah, there you go. All
Very
right.
kind.
Thanks, Vance. Thanks for helping out there.
Wow. I got back just in time. I don't know what happened. I just vanished off the screen. I came backstage, but I guess nobody could see me.
It was a conspiracy.
Probably. So email me,
that was cool.
send me your name and your screen name, so in case they don't match, I know who you are. To David at safeandsoundtexas.com, and I will get those out in the mail to you this week. And that's the fun part. I like doing that.
Uh-oh. Now what's the not so fun part, David? Is this a
Who's complaining now?
Yeah. I got it. But did you get some new gear in your room back there? You got some different lighting in the back. Looks
I
nice.
do. I have some incremental changes, and I've everything's
noticed.
going to change a bit. There's going to be some visual changes here as the weeks go on. So
we're getting a new hostess.
yes, yeah. The plastic
I got
surgeon.
chance to look at what? Wait, what?
The plastic
Just in
surgeon
time.
will be here Friday.
Just in time.
Oh,
So
it looks nice so far.
If you don't email
Can't
your
get by with just a
address, I
makeup
can't
man,
send
huh?
you the record. It's really simple. So
Yeah, right. If you can't put that much effort into it, right?
yeah.
And if
so-
you're running for
right.
law enforcement, David wants no part of it. So please just declare.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So let's see.
What
if
do they
there's-
do with those traps? Oh, we got you a free night stay at the hotel and casino. Just come by and pick up the tickets
That's right.
and the handcuffs. God, you know how many people fall for that stuff?
There's
God,
our buddy
it amazes
Trey.
me.
There's our buddy
amazes
Trey
me.
out of Houston. That's nice to see you, buddy.
Hey, Trey.
Yeah,
Glad you can make it.
yeah. So yeah, this has been fun. I've enjoyed it. I think the one thing that as a group, I want to just say is that I've been struggling with some thoughts about, do I ever want to go toward having members or not members? Royce, I don't know if you do that yet. I know Michael
Yes,
does.
I have. I think I have 12 members right now.
He has a member.
In fact, I had one of my longtime members actually gifted 5 memberships to other people, to first come first serve recently.
Really? Nice.
And I understand he's going to do the same thing this Sunday. Yeah.
Wow.
So I've got about 12 members now, and I tell you what, it really pays off.
Does it? Yeah, I don't know. I hate to exclude people from anything. That's, I guess, my side of my only, piece of that.
I know what you're saying, because then you're giving shout outs just to a small group. A small group that's giving money,
Yeah.
and that's a little bit. It is a little. It can be a little bit awkward.
Right, and it could be how much time.
Cesar's getting real. He's bringing up. This is what we call an old callback right here. Nick, do you have the lube? Do you have the lube handy, Nick? Only on this channel.
I got the spray on lube now.
You got the spray on lube? Excellent.
No. He actually got the French version. It's called lube.
So I've got the membership.
Lube, yes.
I also have
lube.
Lube. There you go.
Yeah. No OnlyFans, Marius. No,
And I've been getting
this one's been tagged for evidence.
That's just kind of picked up on my.
There are some you can do, kind of early drops of videos is one of the things you can do.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's other things you can do that aren't that still will get out to your regular channel. But it's just one of those areas that I could think of things to do in that zone,
Right.
but I don't know. I guess
But
I'll
if
figure it out one
If
day.
it gets to be a big enough membership, then you're forced into, I have to produce for this now, and how much time are you
Yeah.
looking to,
Right.
you have to,
Make it
trade fair.
worthwhile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How much
Yeah, I
time?
know.
Yeah.
Fidelios frequency.
Nick brings up a really good point, because you want to have a lot of members only videos. One of the incentives to come to your channel is they get exclusive videos, and
Right.
I mean over time, one here and one there out to the public. But yeah, you have to fill up that members only videos. I've been working on.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of work.
Yeah, I've been thinking, there's some angles I know. Like I could say, well, my regular reviews, I'm not going to compare this, let's say, to a Steve Wilson remix, but maybe I will for the members.
Hey, there he is.
Yeah, there he is, Arnaldo.
Hey guys.
Hey,
Hi there.
Arnaldo.
How are you?
Hey,
Say,
long time.
How you doing? How you doing?
That's for
I'm good.
you,
How
brother.
are you?
Good. Thank you.
Congrats, David.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for coming. I appreciate it.
Sorry I'm
Yeah,
a
that's
bit
it.
late.
No, it's okay. No, it's okay. You
I
just
wanted to
missed
pop in for a little bit.
you missed winning albums you didn't really want anyway.
Arnaldo, you missed that
Yeah.
Whitney Houston Christmas album that you keep asking me to borrow, and I just tell you no.
What
every
did I
time.
miss? What did I miss?
Which record, Chance?
Yeah. I'm trying to think.
L for Whitney Houston.
Yeah. We had a couple Christmas albums, and Arnaldo, I know you're fond of Christmas albums. You missed the giveaway, and I think it was intentional. I think your timing is pretty deliberate.
I briefly was watching before joining in, and there was like a spinning wheel that I saw, but I was in the middle of watching something else.
I'm trying to recall. What's your favorite band, Arnaldo?
The Smiths.
Right. Yeah, he had a sealed OG that he was giving away.
Oh, autographed by Marr and Morrissey.
Yeah.
Oh.
Right.
Yeah. Didn't I tell you I met Morrissey at the Austin Record Show? You didn't see that?
I saw you with Jack White.
Yeah, well, close enough.
Yeah,
Okay.
isn't that cool?
No, Morrissey is currently in the hospital. Poor guy. He had
really?
he had to cancel a bunch of shows.
Oh,
but this time, there's a reason why. Because I don't know.
He's supposed to be in St. Louis next week. Arnaldo, are we taking bets if he makes the gig or not?
No, I think the next four. What day is it? I think I read that the next 4 or 5 days.
It's early next week. I think. I don't know the date off the top of my head.
I think he canceled.
Oh
Is it
no!
serious?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
It is serious? I'm sorry to hear that.
No, I mean it was very vague. Like he contracted an illness and he has to postpone a show and then another show, and then from what I heard,
Easy chance.
the rest of the tour is canceled as well. So
Wow. Jeez.
Oh,
I found it interesting because that venue is only like a 2,000 or 3,000.
Oh, really?
It's actually a lot more intimate than I would like if you would have played like say the Fox Theater. I would have thought that would have been more his alley.
That's interesting. I didn't know the size of that venue because the bickering between Johnny Marr and Morrissey, and Morrissey kind of like dissed Johnny Marr, basically saying that he was opening in venues of 2,000 seaters while I'm filling arenas. So
well, yeah, this is not an arena. I don't know. I'll get the capacity of this. It's a nice venue. I mean, I just saw Jack White there at the beginning of April, and it's a very good venue.
He's not in the hospital for his ego, then I'll assume.
No, I think it's I don't know. He may have caught the flu or something. No further information was given other than he contracted an illness.
So Arnaldo, for a Morrissey show, do they implement chairs or do they have like a pit area, a standing area typically?
It depends on the venue. If the venue has a general admission and they add seats, on the floor.
Hey, David, are some of the people on the screen buffering right now? Or is it just my screen?
No, then nobody else is buffering.
Go ahead, you were saying?
Okay, it's
otherwise it's possible that it could be also general admission.
Here's why I ask, because the venue has a standing capacity of 3,400, seating 2,350. So let's say it's a part of each. So you're talking 2,500 to 3 maybe for this venue. But again, I would have thought the Fox Theater downtown, or sometimes they'll take the arena and they'll condense it for like a club version where they do, instead of 19,000, they'll do 8,000, that kind of thing. But
I'm looking on the fan site. All the remaining dates are postponed to January 26th.
Oh no!
Postponed, not canceled.
Oh well, that's unfortunate for people who have tickets.
Yeah, sometimes you want the cancellation.
That's right. Because it doesn't get.
At least you get your money back.
That's right. Yep.
So yeah, I don't know what's up, because he's known to cancel for the sniffles, or if the arena.
Sinusitis. Somebody wrote sinusitis that it's got.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, sinusitis. Right here. This is a comment right there.
Oh, okay.
Is that really a thing? Sinusitis.
Yeah.
Sinusitis. Okay.
It's when you have it's like a
sinus headache, like right in the
drainage.
Yeah, it's not quite an infection. It's actually a condition. Some people suffer from that, sinusitis. So, but yet sometimes he's canceled, and people have said, "Oh, because it was too cold." I think, was it the Hollywood Bowl?
Well, he has a tendency for removing his shirt, even though it's probably at this age not what a lot of people are interested in seeing.
It's not body shame, only because he's 65 years old.
Agreed. I'm just saying some people, not all people. I mean, I'm fine with it, but that's me.
Iggy Pop is still doing it, right?
Well, so do we need to talk about Iggy Pop and maybe buy this guy a shirt? Because when the skin is flapping, it's like Ric Flair. He used to. It's just put a shirt on. It's enough.
Somehow, I just hit bingo. I knew that was coming up, and I had that on my bingo card. The moment I knew you were going to be here.
Anytime I can throw in the Nature Boy into the conversation.
Amen. Yeah.
Oh well, my goodness. Well, I guess not everybody's going to make those concerts. I guess
guys, I'm
good, Royce.
What?
I'm still having some issues. I'm going to drop out. You guys are all taking turns, sometimes 2 and 3 at a time, buffering and stuff like that.
No,
and then
we're not.
we're not. At least twice, I've been just dropped off and had to come back in. So anyway, David,
all right,
congratulations,
Royce, thanks for joining.
Brother. I remember how excited I was when I hit 100.
Hey, Royce.
Hey, yeah,
you gotta quit tapping into your neighbor's internet. Love you, man.
But it's free. It's free.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. See you guys.
Thanks, Royce. See you. Take care of yourself.
Take care.
Okay. Bye.
Have a good night.
Right. So what's our we got a big show tomorrow night, right, concert buddy?
We do. That's a great tea. This is kind of like Old Fart Radio meets Surface Noise, right? Like we've got the best of both worlds here.
Oh, you're in trouble tomorrow now.
No, Old Fart Radio. That's a David Bianco thing. That's David. That's not me. David coined that one, and I thought it was terrific. When you guys would do your live streams, and he said Old Fart Radio. I even told him if you ever want to put those on the podcast, we will call it Old Fart Radio. Like I love it. Love everything about it.
Oh, geez.
No, I think David. I think we do have a quorum of Austinites, so I think we'll talk about Austin tomorrow a little bit.
Yep.
And then I forgot what the other topics. Oh, build the perfect record store. Seemed like a probably a fun topic. We'll do that. And I forget what the second one was. My wife asked me earlier, and
Are we talking about CDs?
Who isn't?
I don't know if you heard CDs.
How did the cheap audio man all of a sudden isn't talking about cheap audio equipment? All of a sudden.
Wait, Vital Me Please? Are we talking about Vital Me Please?
Right.
No,
Let's speed up another topic. Hey,
can I say this? We won't say it on Surface Noise because we did so many shows on Vinyl Me Please that we got a little bit of blowback. But
we got death
really.
Yeah, we got threats. We got
threats.
fights. People want. No, we're not making this up. People want to fight us. I mean, it's unbelievable. But I'm going to say it here. It was very lowbrow when you know what you know now. When all the bankruptcy and liquidation stuff is dated April 4, 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, they sent that email saying, "Hang in there. We're going to have resolution by mid-May." And there were people who re-upped their subscriptions. There were people who were still trying to order product in that period when they already knew that they were going down this path. I think that's despicable.
They charged people on April 1st. They charged them. They literally charged them on April 1st.
That's
literally,
despicable.
I think it was a week earlier when they sent out the email, because I'm still getting the emails. Hey, we understand, or maybe I saw it on the forum. We understand there's been challenges in some of the shipping. We're going to have better staff. We're going to staff up so that all the shipping is going to be going back to normal and blah, blah, blah. And then not even 10 days later, you have that notice and emails from credit. I guess because I still have a pending credit with them. I mean, it's minimal. Shame on me that I didn't use it. 4 or 5 months ago. But I even got the email from the creditor.
I got that one.
You're one of their people they owe something to. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Yes. Exactly.
Yeah. No, that's borderline criminal to do such things.
Well, I'm sure that the people in charge, air quotes, were probably advised by the lawyers business as usual. However, when you look at the dates, like David said, April 1st, they were still charging people. April 4th, all the legalese is dated. And then to send out that email Arnaldo is talking about, hey, we know we haven't shipped, because they didn't ship the record of the month or whatever for April. They said, we're going to bundle it with your May shipment, giving all indications that this restructuring, their word, they didn't use reorganization, they didn't use liquidation, they didn't use any of that. So it gave the impression that stay tuned, hang in there, we'll take care of you. And then I think what happened is that liquidator thing leaked, and then that kind of sped up the messaging. But regardless, April 4th was the date of all the legal documents. So that was already in process.
That's when they took control of the assets. Yeah.
Correct. So I think that's as wrong.
Yeah, it's wrong because a lot of people were signing up. There were still people that were signing up for the entire year.
Court.
I can't imagine who's they think they're going to get bought by the end of May. They're dreaming.
By who?
Yeah, that's the question. By who?
Who wants a depreciating asset like that with such terrible brand equity? Like, even if you bought it,
car buyers. Most new car buyers.
Yeah, but who wants the Vinyl Me Please name at this point? Let alone whatever assets. No. Nobody wants that.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, it's a bad scene. I know. At Surface Noise, we get a bad rap, and maybe sometimes just about saying the hard part or saying the quiet part out loud about this stuff when it happens. But the reality is people are going to get screwed out of their credits, their monies, and there's no recourse for them, because when
allegedly robbed.
When money is owed, guess who gets paid? You know who gets paid first in full? Lawyers. You know who gets paid next? Or at least tries to? All the creditors.
All the high-dollar creditors.
Like Arnaldo brought this up.
Yeah, but still, at some point, there's criminal charges.
It should be, but their vendor list is extensive, in the millions of dollars. They owe millions. So
criminal is different than civil.
Correct. So for the people who are worried about getting their records, I hate to tell you, you're probably not, because millions.
Don't count on them.
That's why I think I said goodbye to my $30 credit.
Yeah, right. You got off easy. I mean, to be blunt and honest about it.
I'm glad I didn't, because I was about to utilize. I think it was, I want to say 6 weeks ago. I really was resolved and like, I need to close this out before really I won't be able to. So I picked a record, which was $45, and my $30 credit comes down to $15, right? But then you got to pay $10 shipping. So I would have been out of pocket another $25 for a record that I probably would not have received yet because nothing was shipping. So
when you boil it down, I'm right. You got off easy. I mean, compared to a lot of other people.
I gotta say, Marius is right, because what hasn't already been pushed out to the retailers, because if you go to your local indie stores, those bins are getting fuller and fuller with titles that they were pushing to the distributors for pennies on the dollar, and now these things are even. I mean, think of some of the horrible titles they curated: Sam Hunt. No offense if you like this stuff out there, John Michael Montgomery, all the Dolly Parton stuff that they did not sell through. All of that is filling your local bins right now, and there's more of it behind.
They were really top heavy with her inventory, I heard.
So
set you up for that one, Dave. Go.
But we kind of, I don't want to say, I left, I think it was in October, for many reasons, and I also explained it on Surface Noise and probably in my last Vinyl Me Please video. I was doing it every month. For about 18 months, I was very consistent. I was making a video on the selections that I was getting, and I just wasn't seeing the things that I really wanted being offered. And I moved on to a different stage of, I don't want to even call it record collecting, because I was getting, a couple times I got records that I owned, but I was curious enough to see how they could not reinvent it, but would it sound better? What is the artwork? Is it worth getting? And then maybe I could say, after I've listened to it, or I've determined that maybe the copy I had already, I'd probably get rid of the other one, right? Yeah. But I was also getting records that I didn't own. So for me, it was twofold. It was mostly records that I never had. And in part, some of the records I did have. And they did offer some great titles. Like, for example, I had ordered a second copy of Master of Reality for a VC friend. And I was shocked when they finally shipped it in March, I think it was. So they really looked out on that. And I know people lucked out also on the Grateful Dead box pre-orders that they were waiting for. So I don't know where it just went all of a sudden down, because it seemed like a lot of things were working up until one point where then everything is like they fired everybody, and then nothing was shipping and nothing was happening.
So Wally, I met him in New York, and this is a real bag. So you've got people like him who already re-upped for the year months ago, and now he is owed $500. I mean, this is Nick. This is what we're talking about. The criminal.
Yeah, I know.
Because they clearly knew. Because I know the narrative. I already read I read a Substack article today about Vinyl Me Please, and a lot of this is being spun about. Oh, it was the pressing plant debacle.
It's wrong. That article is flat wrong.
Right. Yeah. It's a contributing factor. However, this is it's the old expression, death by 1,000 paper cuts. We talked about this on Surface Noise. So many things contributed to this that I've made this comment privately. I'll say it here. They were better just leaving those guys in charge, because as all the things messed up, and they could have dealt with those guys at a different level. It was 200,000, whatever the money was.
Yeah, that was suicide.
That is what did it. It was their decision to do what they did with those guys. Plus, also, David, you talked about this, that lawsuit. They had the lawsuit with the lady, right?
Yeah.
Like all of these things, it's death by 1,000 paper cuts. It's not all because of the pressing plant. So unfortunately, people are already trying to spin that narrative that
no, I've got a video response to that article coming.
Yeah. Okay. So you read the same one. Okay.
Yeah. No, that's baloney. That's baloney.
It reeks to me of like an apologist. You know what I mean? Like one of because they're out there, the Vinyl Me Please fanboys, and more power to them. If you like it, so be it. There's fanboys about a lot of things, but you got to be a
denial.
Well, it's a denial now. It's a denial now. But at the time, people were so passionate about.
Yeah, sure.
That's what Arnaldo was talking about. We got a lot of flack because people are like, you guys should be supporting anyone who makes vinyl and this, that, or the other. True. Want to. But you also, I'm a customer. And when you're sending me damaged product, when you're not responsive, when your service levels are going down, when your quality levels are going down, you're going to hear about it. I'm sorry that we do it on YouTube to 80 people, big whoop. But the point is still the same as like step your game up or step out. It's that simple. And here we are.
At some point, do you think a creditor just finally put their foot down and say, I want my money?
Well,
but there was nothing to have.
Nick, the hot rumor over, I guess the fall, and Arnaldo, correct me if I'm wrong, the hot rumor was they owed the labels fat money for licensing. And that's why, if you notice, right around the time Arnaldo's talking about that Ramones thing happened and all that mess, all of a sudden they kind of pivot. It was one of their many pivots, and they pivoted to their curation was really obscure and indie stuff again, like back in the day. And that's because they couldn't get the licenses because they owed the licensees big money, right? So that was, it all made sense. But that was like the dirty little secret is like some of these labels are like, you can't press any more of our stuff until you get a payment plan. We work out some kind of terms, redo terms, etc. So we didn't say one word about that on Surface Noise, by the way, for the record. Didn't even bring it up. But that was the word going around behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So anyway, well, then the question becomes, will anyone else try the subscription model again? Because you've got a pile of bodies, Bandbox, Q-Rates, now Vinyl Me Please. Like, I think if anyone's learned anything, it's unless you own your own material like Interscope or Rhino, it's a big hill to climb.
Yeah, licensing is really key because especially now major labels have realized that there's money in the game. So, and Warner has spun 2 of them. They saw it worked well with Rhino Hi-Fi. Now they're doing reserves, and I don't know, fingers crossed for the Vinyl Collective. We'll see how that works out. But it's a little different. I guess the Vinyl Collective, they're not so much curating the sound of the records. It's more, Chance, correct me if I'm mistaken, more the presentation.
Yeah, I think it's a couple
the edition, like a special edition.
Special edition, alternate artwork, color variants, deep cuts, tracks. I mean, they're what started. I mean, they, like anything else. Rhino did this, Interscope Collective did this. They had to figure it out with the mailers and how to ship records. Like, they didn't have an operational savvy at the beginning, but both of them have course corrected that. And now they can lean into curating titles that people want. And I think both of them, side by side, are kind of figuring out what's working and doing a pretty good job of it, quite frankly, if that's your bag.
The reason I brought this little ditty up on screen is because one of the things management had said is they didn't know what was going on. But in 2022, this headline and article was in the Denver paper about them putting in a bar and a retail space as part of that pressing plant, which were never part of the original plans. So for them to act like what the hell happened just doesn't even make sense to me.
It's convenient, ostrich in the sand. Hey, can you put up Paul's comment, Breakfast King? This is true. I read this today because that you literally can go on their website right now and put your credit card in and try to. They will take your money now still amidst all of this. Like, you would think they would turn that off.
Go ahead, Nick.
I'm gonna hop right on it, baby. Can I buy 3 or 4 memberships?
Well, they'll take your money and then you won't get it back. So I mean, that's just terrible.
So John Bandy, he said he talked to a record store owner today. Basic understanding he got was a person that communication is Warner cannot wait for those who are into vinyl, the company to croak.
Interesting.
I don't know which company.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think the guys who were accused of whatever, that to me, they should have been able to work that out. I would have hoped because the ones that were left didn't know what the hell to do.
Well, that's the thing is, like, if you go back and kind of reevaluate, because it was a year ago, we were at Austin, we were at the hamburger stand. Remember, David?
Oh yeah,
when that became public about that they were running, all this stuff in secret. But the thing you just threw up there is a great point. they were broadcasting what they wanted at space. I forget who it was. Maybe was it your visit, or you were talking about your visit, and they were going to have a listening area. Like they have all this bougie plans for that area.
That. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. It's just like, I mean, for the board of directors to feign so much ignorance, to, think they didn't know some of the stuff that was going on. I mean, the concept was, we're going to own our own pressing plant. That at the most base level, because they were having so many supply chain challenges, there were capacity issues. They said, because they had the working relationship with Acoustic Sounds from back in the day. So they already knew Gary, reached out to Gary. Some would say poached Gary, but he's a grown man. And that was the whole plan from Jump Street. We're going to own our own pressing plant, or we'll be able to take orders to subsidize our overhead with other orders. So no mystery there.
Well, now we got a pressing plant that's putting out some really good products. So I guess somebody won in the end.
Yeah, the idea was always sound. Now Denver, a little expensive area to be in, but a lot of companies can make it work. But
it was the legal and the restrictions and all the zoning and all the rules.
Sure, that was the delay. Yeah, those are the delays. Yeah,
that's what really.
Who owned the pressing plant?
I think VMP had a 51% share.
Okay, so they probably, whoever, is it Dave Rawlings?
Rawlings, yeah. Rawlings and Gary.
So they probably paid Vinyl Me Please for their share, right?
You would assume to take control.
They had to buy out. Yeah, they had to buy, their piece had to be bought out. And that's what they paid the last people that were in customer support with.
Well, it was kind of like what we kind of speculated off.
Or maybe.
Maybe.
And I'm going to be really malicious here.
But when they announced that Paulie, the customer service head, and Storff, the curation guy, were let go, that the writing on the wall was clear. They were probably trying to get those guys ahead with some kind of severance before they did all this liquidation and bankruptcy and all that stuff. So hopefully those guys got something out of it. And of course, Matt Fiedler. I'm sure Matt Fiedler is going to be okay coming out of this too.
Oh, the guy who came out and did the interview on the Ramones debacle. That guy.
He did a couple. Yeah, he did like 2 or 3 of those. True. Yeah, $15. Get them. Dolly Me Parton coming at you.
Yeah.
They already have them at one of my locals. They're $20. When if you did that curation, it was 40 plus, 40 to 45 at minimum. So I don't know.
I thought she was a 42D. What?
That seems on the smaller side, Nick. I think, I think there's a couple double G's in there.
TV makes you look bigger. Remember?
Is that what it is?
Well, it'll be interesting to see if anyone else tries to pave this road themselves outside of, like we talked about, the labels. It's a tough road to sled for sure.
Wow, how could get to such a mess?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. The box labels are not. They're going to use in-house mastering engineers.
Yep.
It's almost the word that keeps crossing my head is a quote from Bugs Bunny.
But Ryan Smith isn't he already kind of like the in-house?
I mean, he's technically with Sterling. He's with Sterling.
For Sony, because Sony has their vault in Nashville. And Sterling, it just seems to me that every time there was a Sony title on VMP, it was always Ryan Smith to be cutting it, because I think he's the trusted mastering engineer.
Could be.
And because I think most of the masters are housed in Nashville.
And Sterling's in Nashville.
Yeah. Right. It's an easy, they don't have to ship them.
They don't have to ship it. They can hand carry it.
And today, you never know. You ship something through the air. Who knows what happens to it, right? I don't want to be the bad guy, but it's like
the truth is the truth.
Yeah, it is, especially if they're going through Newark. But anyway,
oh God,
are not even leaving out of Newark anymore. I think.
No, it's just, don't go near. The word is don't go near Newark. It is.
Hey, speaking of New York, Arnaldo, have you heard of this? I'm completely changing the subject. The Kool-Aid Man Challenge. Are you familiar with this?
No.
So, the Kool-Aid Man, the commercials, he'd bust through the wall. Oh, yeah, right? Remember that in the commercials? So the wonderful youth of our nation has now started doing this thing where they go, and I saw the cops are looking for them in New York. There's a group of kids, but they're doing it nationally. Those plastic, I don't say plastic, but synthetic material fences, those like fiberglass fences, white picket fence that you can see at your kids will en masse run to break through those like the Kool-Aid Man, and then they leave while your fence is destroyed. It's like this new form of vandalism. It's if you look on the social media, it's all over the place. I had no idea.
It's happening in New York?
Well, apparently the cops there's a big group in New York that the cops are looking for because they're going to the suburbs and literally they have these on security camera. There's like 8 of them, and they charge these fences and they blow through them because the material is not meant for 180 pound, 240 pound people bursting through. And again, they think it's funny because it's the Kool-Aid Man, but now you're talking about thousands of dollars of damage. It's
in Louisiana, they would find a way to hot wire those fences. I'm sure.
Oh, have
you seen the political signs they hot wire? I promise you.
Oh man, that's wild.
Yep. Surprise.
Well, you gotta learn somehow.
They haven't appeared on my feed yet because typically all these stupid things. But I think maybe social media is cutting down on them because there has been a whole more like they're being a little more vigilant on what they're promoting because they're getting these ideas from somewhere.
The copycats. Copycats. Yeah. It's like copycat crimes, copycat murders, and copycat influencer nonsense like this. Yeah.
New fad. New fad.
Well, I don't know if you guys ever heard about it, but some of them think it's brilliant to do subway surfing. Do you know what that is?
Oh no! While
they hang on the outside. No, either on top, but a lot of them are doing it on the outside, like along the train. And I don't know. I don't know where they get these brilliant ideas, and they're all teenagers. They're teenagers.
No. This is when we evoke the name of Charles Darwin and natural selection, because if people are this stupid, you get what you pay for. You pay the tax, you pay the toll, Jack.
Yeah, their famous last words. Hey, watch me.
Yeah, right.
They
light at the end of the tunnel.
They actually had a team, a special unit of the police with drones, because some of the subway in New York is above ground.
Oh, sure.
Outside of the Manhattan proper, it comes out of the tunnels, and it's
on the tracks. Yep.
Right. And it's on the tracks and sometimes on the elevated tracks. And they were showing footage of drones from the police unit that was seeing these guys that are surfing on top of the train, and they were being arrested and tried because it's a crime.
Good.
Well, I do have to be fully transparent. So back in college, was not under the influence of anything. This is a true story. But to get into the parking lot of where we were staying, you had to flash your security card, right, for being on campus. And oftentimes people, would forget their badge. And so there'd be cars backed up because some knucklehead didn't have their badge. So one time I was a passenger. We went to the grocery store, got some frozen pizzas or something. Coming back, some goofball forgot their badge. So I get out of our car, go up, swipe mine so we can get the cars through. So in my infinite 19-year-old wisdom, I'm not going to get back in my friend's car. I decided to jump on the hood like Teen Wolf. And I said, so I'm trying to surf. So again, the genius of youth. So I'm literally surfing like I'm, Scott Wolf and Teen Wolf. And what do you know? Here come those multicolored lights. Doot, 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 doot. Gave me a ticket. Couldn't believe it. But, it wasn't.
What was the ticket for?
Oh,
reckless endangerment.
Reckless, yeah, that sounds right. Yeah,
oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, come on. Yeah. Actually, They call them stupid tickets.
No, it was. There's no
I mean,
doubt
think
about
it. The kid's stupid for what he's doing.
No,
Let's
I
give
jumped
him
on
a
the hood.
ticket.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was.
He's
it was
trying to
goofy.
save you.
I know. Well, and literally, I mean, we're going 10 miles an hour in the park
Yeah, I know.
lot, but still, I mean, I was
People drown in this much water too.
That's true.
No, they really do.
That's fact.
We were just talking about Whitney Houston
and her daughter.
and her daughter.
Y'all are right. Y'all just bring it out in me. I don't know what it is. I'm normally sweet, kind, gentle person.
Quiet, calm.
Yeah, that's it. Quiet.
You don't have any of that Louisiana fire in you. Come on. Well, you're from the East Coast, though, right, Nick? Aren't you from
Yes.
Yeah, that's what.
Philly. Fly, Eagles, fly.
I'll be going to Philly this weekend.
Yeah, what you doing?
VinylCon. There's a record show.
Nice. That in the city?
Yes, it's in the city.
Okay.
Arnaldo did a wonderful video on it last year. Nick, did you not see it?
Yeah.
Last year? Our tastes in music don't coincide so much.
Fair enough.
They just don't. I've tried and I've dipped in some of it, and I'll check it again every now and then.
Well, I mean, do I have to put on some old fart music?
Wait. Here you go.
Do you want me to do a video of David Crosby on Neil Young?
Oh no, God! Come on. No, it's not that. Just different. No,
I totally
vanilla and chocolate. Yeah.
I'm just now curious as to what music really you're getting into.
When I get time, that's the hardest thing. A lot of old rock.
Okay. No, I'm experiencing the freeze up.
We've got Royce-itis. Nick, you're going into the upside down. Nick, are you with us?
You guys.
I'm still here.
You guys are Wi-Fi. I'll tell you what. It's just.
But
Jeremy raised
just a variety, and I was listening to a lovely album last night. Outstanding, Gaucho. Oh my God, what a great job they did.
Steve
I don't think anyone wants a video of Gaucho from me, right?
No.
No one wants a video from me, but it was a lovely listen. It was the best I've ever heard it. It was really
so. Was Vinyl Me Please a sponsor of VinylCon last year? That sounds familiar.
Yeah, that was Vinyl Me Please. So in all the ads on social media, sponsored by Vinyl Me Please, I get there's not one table. There's no presence of Vinyl Me Please. And I was really kind of like, did I miss it? Was it like tucked in a corner and I didn't see it?
Right.
I was miffed by this. So fast forward to WFMU when the organizer of VinylCon actually was introduced to me by one of the dealers that I know. And he thanked me. He was like, "Oh, that's great. I saw your video. Thank you so much for the coverage." So we got to talking, and I asked him, "Wasn't Vinyl Me Please supposed to be sponsoring the? I didn't see them. Did I miss that?" It's like, no, they bailed at the last minute because it happened right around the time of the record plant debacle. Like,
about a year ago. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
May. Before that happened, and they pulled out. They didn't show up. They even had paid us the fee or whatever to sponsor it, and then they didn't come. They didn't.
There goes those poor suckers that bought that John Coltrane box set with the big poster. There's their money right there, paying for things.
Wow.
So you're telling us you had a year's warning,
and still didn't dawn on you.
Little slow on the uptake there.
It still sounds like sabotagey to me. Somebody just wanted to take it out.
Well, the bigger question is who's going to write the postmortem on Vinyl Me Please, the definitive Vinyl Me Please postmortem, and will it be on what website? Will it be on? Will it be on The Ringer? Will it be on one of these? I wouldn't say Rolling Stone. Rolling Stone probably doesn't care about that. Rolling Stone's kind of changed their whole approach anyway. But surely somebody's going to do the
Do they
definitive
still talk about
postmortem.
music anyway?
I don't think so. I haven't been on there since they had the paywall, to be honest with you. But somebody's going to write something that's going to have some degree of, let's call it journalistic research involved outside of
Michael
what
Fremer.
You're generous.
Exactly. That's
Oh,
what I was saying. Maybe
no.
the illustrious Mr. Fremer will write up an article.
Yeah, no, hard pass on that one.
A tracking angle.
Yeah.
No, Malachi, that's the young man who writes for him. That's probably who would
Yes.
write it, would be Malachi.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, we'll just piece together all of our videos, mine and Surface Noise, and we'll just put those together. And
Yeah, you guys should do something.
I think there's some more drama to be witnessed.
Well, yeah, the drama is people are going to be pissed they can't get their money back. Like Wally earlier.
Well, I think it's drama
I mean,
behind that as well.
you know who I would,
This
you know
is
who
just
I'd
too
reach
big a
out
mess
to? You know who I'd reach out to? I'd get Paul, the customer service guy who is real passionate. If you could, I wouldn't say put him up to a lie
Corner
detector
him.
test, but if you could,
Yeah.
no, I would just like, he would be the one that would have all the tea, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Now, would he spill the tea? I don't know. But now Storff,
but
Storff
he did an
was
NDA. He did an NDA called "No Dollars Anymore." So
oh yeah, NDA, yeah. That's true. I'm sure. Yeah, you're right. There's probably some NDAs involved in those separation agreements, right?
yeah, I don't know that they had that much to offer him that I would take
Yeah.
an NDA.
They usually require some form of payment to enforce.
Yeah,
David, I got it. You were talking about memberships. Let's do this. We need to do a membership pledge, and we'll use those monies to buy out the NDA from Paulie, and we collectively will tell the story of Vinyl Me Please, and we'll make no money.
Yes. you have Vinyl Me Please strategy there.
Yeah. Over promise and under deliver. Yes.
You can make a documentary of it.
yeah.
Piece together all of the various clips.
David's right. Yeah,
all the streams, all the
information
videos.
is out there. The information is out there. It could be done. You're right, David.
Yeah.
Or you can make it a fantasy and just have everything backwards to where it grows from nothing into this great big.
We could play it backwards, and it's a decent company.
Actually, Chance, I think on one of the streams when we talked about it, we give deadlines. Didn't we guess?
We give predictions. Yeah, if you go back,
yes.
We should go back. Actually, if I have time tomorrow, maybe I'll put that on and see maybe if we could. Yeah, because we in theory could measure now that we know the answer is known. We can see who is closest to the pin.
I want to say, well, I said by the end of the year. I think someone else said earlier.
I did. Yeah.
David was like end of first quarter or second quarter. Like he
I was in like June at the latest.
Yeah. So I think David probably closest to the
So
pin.
when do we call it? When the website goes down? Is that what you call it?
Well, they're apparently taking money still. So big old ruse right there. If you've got a stolen credit card, test it out on Vinyl Me Please's website for us, would you? Unbelievable.
Yeah, you could do that.
I was talking to a friend of mine about this, and he was kind of like Arnaldo. Like he only had like $30. He only had one outstanding project. He pre-ordered that Footloose. Remember they brought the guys in from Mondo when Mondo reorganized, and they were going to go. Here's another one. They were going to go all into soundtracks. The first soundtrack with the Mondo guys, the Goonies, never delivered. Yeah. Footloose, where they had the shoelaces as part of the packaging, never delivered. I mean, it's again death by 1,000 paper cuts. They had all, and then when those guys left the company, not even a popcorn fart. The only reason anyone knew those guys left was somebody hit one of those guys up on Twitter, and they're like, "Hey, what's going on with the Vinyl Me Please project?" And he goes, "Oh, I left like a month ago. Left on good terms." And it's like, wow. Again, add all these things up.
But they did do one great soundtrack.
Don't say Barbie, Jose. don't say Barbie, Jose.
The Barbie soundtrack, the $200 box set.
$200 Barbie box set. Come on, man. Unbelievable.
Did it come with a car?
They couldn't get rid of it. Even didn't they do a 40% off? And there were still copies left.
Yeah, that's the one. I forgot the comment. Yeah, $15 at your local. That's going to be Barbie box set, $15.
Yeah.
Wish.
And that box set was probably very expensive to produce.
Of course.
Oh, yeah,
Because
sure.
it's all the additional stuff, not forget
yeah.
the vinyl. It's
Sure.
all the other
Oh, yeah.
copies that you put in there.
On top
Yeah.
of the Mattel license. Like, let's throw
Oh
that
yeah,
in,
of course.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, not only the Mattel, I don't know who did the soundtrack, but there's probably the license for the
Multiple layers.
soundtrack,
Yep,
the
yep.
license for the logo, everything.
Yep.
That's why it
Oh,
cost like $200.
So imagine you're in that meeting. Let's do some role playing. You're in one of the big Vinyl Me Please planning meetings because they were really like disciplined the process there.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, we have an opportunity with the Barbie movie coming out. We can do a massive box set for Barbie. And then someone raises their hand. Well, you realize that most of our customers are 94% male, right?
Let's go all in.
Let's just go. We're going to change. We are a agent of change here at Vinyl Me Please, and we're going to get all those men to buy the Barbie soundtrack. But wait, it's going to be $250 at retail. Keep on pushing. Keep on pushing. We've got stickers. We've got color inserts. We've got
Everything in pink.
We got Barbie. Hey.
Mhm.
Yeah, we've got Ken. We've got it all.
Whoever thought, I mean, it could have been big for the right audience. It was
Correct.
the wrong audience and the wrong
The
distribution.
right script.
Yeah, they thought everybody in Vinyl Me Please was a Taylor Swift fan.
If
Right.
someone had thought of that at the label that put it out and made a widespread box set that was available, probably it would have sold very well. But through Vinyl Me Please, wrong audience. Who's going to sign up for that?
And the timing, the movie had already been out, 7 months when they made the announcement. They made the announcement of the pre-order. You couldn't even get it delivered to you. You still had to wait longer. That was 7 months for the pre-order announcement. Again, death by 1,000 paper cuts. Come on.
And it showed up one day. What's this? I ordered that.
Well, that's the fear, is that all this litigation gets worked out, and all of a sudden these random box sets just start falling from the sky. You get a John Coltrane, you get a Grateful Dead, you get Barbie. You know what I mean?
It's The Price is Right.
Did they sell out of the Blue Note one? Or is it still available?
Look, probably on their website.
Let's look it up.
Yeah, I mean, Vinyl Me Please did, like Arnaldo said, when it was good, it was good, and I give them credit for the country, the hip hop. They were choosing at one point titles that people were asking for on vinyl, things that had never been put on vinyl. One of their curious decisions was when they started doing the major things that all the other labels were doing. You would have a Rhino Rocktober release, and then Vinyl Me Please would do a color variant of the same plating and mastering of that title for 35% more than you could get the Rocktober at retail.
Yeah.
Like
already got it. Pass. Yep.
Exactly.
You're right.
The story of Blue Note is join waitlist.
Yeah.
That's the status. Join waitlist.
Do you have a burner
quit.
email you can use, Arnaldo? Let's test this and see if that waitlist ever gets lifted.
I quit the wait list.
And
A
it's
long
funny,
time
wait,
ago.
the landing page, I just typed in Vinyl Me Please, and I get to the landing page. The landing page is join the club.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's the first thing when you type
You
it
two
right
can
up.
be screwed.
They should put a thing like lawyers ? Like lawyers should be the banner. Vinyl Me Please.
Right.
But
Well, even going back to, I made the joke. Remember the John Coltrane project they were working on? And they were selling like this oversized John Coltrane poster. It's like, guys, like, what are you doing? Like $300 John Coltrane poster. Like, these are the things that people are not joining your subscription service for. I mean,
No.
actually, I have the Comedy Store here. I've got one. Can I do show and tell? Let's do show and tell.
sure.
Yeah. Well, I landed on the page and they have records for sale. There you go. Join a club.
There you go.
Jesus. Become a member.
So one of their really genius ideas was, remember they had swaps, right? So at the beginning of the
Yeah.
month,
Yeah.
there would be a lot of backed up inventory that you could swap out of. And I always found it amazing that, let's say median price of your membership is $40 a month. Sometimes they would throw full box sets that you could swap out for $40. So I got the gospel box set.
Oh.
And here's a project that literally 2 people must have asked for, the people who made the decision. Best of the Comedy Store.
What?
This was another swap all-star. I would never pay $200 for it, but for $35, okay.
Yeah, but
let's say they did some great box sets. I didn't get the Grateful Dead, but I hear it's a great box set.
The Miles was a
Miles I have, and it's a great box set.
Yeah.
People loved the Zamrock. That was another one that
both
sold
of the Zamrock ones. Yeah, the first one in particular. Yep.
Oh, there were 2? I thought it was just one.
No, the second one you can still kind of find out in the world somewhere, but the first one is on lock. That one never comes up. It's like
they did some great releases. Let's not, they did some shitty ones.
Yeah, they did. We're making fun of the really questionable ones, but you're right, Arnaldo. I mean, when it was,
you can only stack up so many questionable ones until your profit loss line looks like hell.
Right. Well, think about Tetris, right? You know that game Tetris? You can play it and you can knock those levels off. But eventually the rent comes due. And like you're exactly right, Nick, how many Comedy Store box sets did they sell on initial run? Like when they announced this, best of the Comedy Store. I mean, how many people paid full price for the Comedy Store? And then 3 or 4 months later, it's in the swaps for $30, $40.
Yeah.
I mean, those are the death by 1,000 paper cuts thing we're talking about.
It doesn't even make sense on vinyl.
No, I know. It's.
I mean, come on. One brain cell it took to come up with that.
Well, again, remember those are the production meetings, and when they do remember Unsolved Mysteries used to
put your thinking caps on
those mystery shows. They would do the reenactments with actors. I hope they do that. Vinyl Me Please, and they miscast everyone, and they're in the production meeting, and they're like, "Hey, I've got a great idea for a box set. Let's take some very lo-fi recordings from the Comedy Store and let's put them on vinyl."
Yeah.
I think we can't do.
David, can you put up Rick's V Spinner's comment
here?
Yes.
Yeah, that's, I think, very interesting because I've been looking some of my VMP doubles up and some have held their value. I can't get rid of that Taking Back Sunday even for free, but I'm sure a lot of them have held up very well because I want to say on the average, they were producing some really good product. There were very few, either because I swapped out for credit that I didn't get, or a few that I got that I wasn't really 100% satisfied with. So for me, I can't say it was it was a nightmare experience with all the dinged corners and their mailers and the seam splits and the non-fill. I mean, but I got to give it to customer service. They always, I want to say almost 90% of the time, they were very good at it.
But I'm going to say this, the QC issues really got worse when the relationship with Acoustic Sounds fell apart. Because if you remember that first time they took a pass at the Grateful Dead box set, Acoustic Sounds made that. I mean,
I didn't know that. I didn't know.
So back when that relation, and this is back before, like when Chad had the capacity to do that stuff, because they were a customer of his, right? Like he was making their stuff.
He had Gary too.
Right. And then when that fell through and they went to GZ, a lot more of those warp records and the no fills and all that kind of stuff happened. So it's direct correlation.
And I think that, and I know it's a logistics and it's a supply chain kind of issue and they did it for the Miles Davis. I had 1 or 2 defective records of the Miles Davis box set. They shipped me only the vinyl, but in general, whenever I had a problem with the vinyl, they would ship the entire package, not just the disc. So that adds up,
Oh, of course, because your normal fallout, and David, you're closer to this than I am, but 5 to 10% is your normal fallout in any manufacturing environment, right? Like on the high end. So
on the high end,
right, when you're compounding that with not only sending out a new record like Arnaldo's talking about, you're sending out more jackets, you're more mailers. I mean, all those costs. Like, I always wondered if they were doing a good accounting of that.
Well, and I think it's also logistics, because unlike, for example, Acoustic Sounds, we'll send you just the disc, we'll send you just the jacket, because a lot of that is controlled by them. But their Vinyl Me Please warehouse is probably shipping who knows where, so they can instruct someone to say just ship the jacket or just ship the disc.
Well, and they were running
miles, because I think because it was a multiple album box set, they probably had to do it that way and have just discs on hand to ship out, because obviously, like you said, there's going to be some kind of defective or return kind of
your return rate. Yeah, you got to build that into the cost structure. But I think all that stuff came from Saddle Creek, North Carolina. Wasn't that the facility of what's the Bright Eyes guy?
Connor Oberst.
Yeah, somebody told me that he was involved. Like, that was like, because yeah. So, but that's who they use, that place in North Carolina. And to your point, Arnaldo, I don't think that the people working in the warehouse were that. This isn't a knock on them. It's just training, sophisticated enough to be here. These are replacement jackets. We're going to use a completely different carton to ship these. These are disc only. We're going to use this carton. Like, they literally had one mailer for everything. They had 3 mailers. One that can fit 1 to 3 records, one that could fit 3 to 5, and then the oversized boxes for box sets and or giant orders of 8 to 10. Right? That's literally the boxes they carried. But anyway, here we are.
Yeah, over at AP, I had the Roger Waters Amused to Death. It came in split seams. I was like, and for some reason, I'm not wood. I rarely get split seams, but this box set did. I called them up and they're like, no problem. 4 or 5 days later, I had just the sleeves, perfect condition. I'm like, cool.
But that's a great example, Nick, because that's a business that clearly heard any split seam issues, talked about how to remedy it, talked about how not to have added cost for replacements, and they have a solution now. Oftentimes they'll, like with the UHQRs, they ship them outside the jacket in the box, or
they have a tight hand on the control.
Right.
Which it's not being cheap, it's being smart. You know?
It took them like 2.5, 3 years to figure it out.
Well, but they were figuring out a lot of things.
Well, there was a lot of things coming at once. Yeah, that's true.
So you have to prioritize, and getting down to that, that's getting pretty particular about what you're doing, which is very smart. It just sometimes takes time. It's his scale is so much bigger than my scale. I'm small, but it starts with the same ideas and same principles. Every business does, and waste is a horrible thing. It's a 4-letter word.
I think Chance, I think we should get Mike Judge to do an Office Space version of VMP. I really do.
Yeah. But no, what Arnaldo's saying and what Bandy's saying, same thing. I mean, just to send as a customer, thank you for sending me a whole nother record. And then what would happen with the seam split record? Probably ended up at my local store, or I sold it. I'm just being transparent. Two of them. They would say, feel free to give it away. They would say that in the correspondence.
I totally, and I would be like, what a waste. You sent I just wanted the jacket. Or just probably because I have that mentality where in the line of work that I do, I'm like, it's kind of a waste. You're sending the whole thing.
Arnaldo's a big sustainability champion.
But now you have a player copy and a perfect copy.
No, I mean, okay, for a New York apartment, you can't have.
Yeah, I know.
You have to have one copy.
Yep, I understand.
And I'm really struggling here.
Yeah, I bet you are.
The player and the collectible copy is only for really, really important stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, it is bedtime for me.
It is bedtime for Bonzo.
Yeah.
And as Mr. Reagan would say.
It was a pleasure seeing you guys. David, congrats again.
Thanks, Ronaldo. Thanks, guys. We're going to wrap it up. Thanks
Sounds
for
good.
joining. By the way, if you haven't sent your email, make sure you send an email to me with your address and name and screen name so I know who to send which record to.
Social security number, driver's license.
Form
And
of
we're all
payment
gonna-
accepted on the Vinyl Me Please website. Preferred, please. Thank you.
Yes.
And tomorrow night, 8:05, we'll be on Concert Buddies channel with 3 of the 4 of us. So join us then as
Nick
well.
will be in the gallery because it's Nick's second favorite live stream after the PB Thal live stream. So, and David's.
There you
So third, I think Service Noise is number 3 at this point.
All right, you all. Thanks.
Please.
Have a good one. Take care.
Guys, good night.
Bye,
All right,
everybody.
see you. Good to see you
Take
guys.
care.
All right, bye-bye.
Good night.
Bye-bye.